foundation, I don't know. It takes a little more than what you show, and that's yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Welcome to Bobby Finn Knows Everyone, part of the Pull Tab Sports family. I am Bobby Finn. Along with me, my co-host, Tom Lord. How are you, Tommy?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. It's going to be a fun episode.
Yes, we got somebody back with us. Got some good stories, so we wanted to invite Mateo Schmidt.
Hello.
Back here. Yeah. How are you, buddy?
Doing pretty well.
That's good.
Mateo Schmidt back in the house.
Back in the house. We got some wild and crazy stories to talk about today.
Helpful stories too.
Helpful, very helpful, right.
Whenever there's like a special episode of a show on, I always tell my wife, I'm like, this is going to be a very special episode of Who's the Boss?
Who's the Boss?
This is a very special episode of Welcome Back, Kotter.
Welcome back.
For all those kids out there who don't know what Welcome Back, Kotter is. There's a show back in this. No. Yeah, so it's
right
good.
here.
Did I ever tell you there's a Welcome Back Kotter thing? You know, the song, Welcome Back, right? When my daughter would get penalties at Cretan, they would play Welcome Back.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
great.
Well, I'm running the music for the JV hockey team.
Oh, yeah?
That's going to be on my go-to list.
That would be great, yeah.
Yep, I have been playing. There's a old, you'll know this rap song, KRS-One. Whoop whoop, here comes the police. Whoop whoop. Yep, fans loved it. They had no idea who KRS-One is, but I do.
That's awesome.
And
Legend.
Beck Loser, that's another good one. Play that when my kid gets sent to the penalty box. You're a loser, baby. So yeah, it's good. What's happening? Speaking of losers, should we just hit on the Vikings real quick?
Might as well.
Maybe last week we did Beth from Yellowstone, hot or not. Vikings Super Bowl chance, hot or not?
Not. Their defense is garbage.
Suspect.
No, they're not suspect. They're garbage.
They've been missing guys. Come on, give them a chance.
Oh gosh.
No Harry the Hitman last week.
Yeah.
Detroit's hot. We just let them win.
I know they have to have some kind of pressure though.
Yeah.
We have nothing.
What's that 3-4 defense?
Jeez, is he getting ran out of town yet? Ed Donatel?
Yeah, everybody wants his head.
Everybody wants his head.
Yeah, they just don't have one of those wins, a statement win.
Never.
Every
What are you
game
talking about? They beat Buffalo.
Yeah, they barely squeaked by Buffalo.
I got lucky with the fumble in the end zone.
Yeah, every other game, it's like you almost expect they might lose. They have a 14-point lead, and they give it all up, and it's nail biter at the last 5 minutes.
They could easily be 3-10 right now. Easily. They got lucky almost every win. They have a chance to put these teams away, and they just stop doing it.
I think they're going to put it together. I do. I think at the end, they're maybe not going to go all the way, but I think they're going to get to real close to the NFC Championship game. I just don't think they've had the full roster, the full squad. I do think they need another corner, but
You're going to get them now. Let's get prime time out of Colorado. Go get Dion to come back.
What do you think of Dion?
I mean, he can recruit.
Yeah.
That's all right. College football is all about recruiting.
How about those kids, though, when he walks in there and says, I'm going to be hitting the portal up. So pretty much get your bags packed almost, right?
Well, he said he's bringing his luggage, meaning he's bringing his kids to come play there.
Yeah.
And he's bringing his other star players to come there. So beat it if you don't.
Right.
But they got a clear house. They suck.
Yeah.
Right?
They haven't been good
The whole
since.
program
Was
blows.
Cordell Stewart?
Oh, yeah.
Slash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way up but up from there, right? That's why he picked Colorado.
Yeah.
Because
Well, why wouldn't he go to somebody saying like ACC school,
Like
or
a big time school?
Yeah, like a Florida State or Nebraska. I can see why he's not going to Nebraska, but like some big time school versus a Colorado.
Florida State, I'm surprised he didn't go there because he played there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he even turns around them a little bit, they'll have offers everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Yeah. I mean,
not Minnesota. They signed PJ Fleck to a long deal. We love our PJ. Roll the boat, baby.
Roll the boat.
I mean, they should have been a lot better this year as well. They lost.
God, the hype was so high at one point, right? They're going to go undefeated,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just
they started. When they beat Michigan State, it was like, we got this. We're going to win this conference. And
then Purdue put the boots to us.
Iowa too. The first loss. That was my first Gopher game I went to.
And they lost.
Yeah, I got so many random texts like, "You're never allowed back at the
Jinx.
Yeah,
Mateo Jinx.
I was like,
That's funny.
It's because those Minnesota fans were talking about the Rose Bowl. I'm
Yeah.
like, it was a little too
They
early
were.
for that.
Yeah.
I know they were. I was like, this is early to be talking about the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, they got way ahead of themselves. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Gopher hockey's on fire, you know?
Don't get me started about Gopher hockey. We're not going to talk about anything else. We won't have time to get into Matt's stories. Like, I think they're looking so good. I mean, they're down 2-0 to Wisconsin, and they did get kind of lucky on a call. They did get a 5, and they put up, I think, 4 goals.
On that major?
Yeah, 3 goals maybe on that major, because they're down 2-0 with 4 minutes left in the first period. And then they freaking put up 3 right away to go to the period break up 3-2 when they were just not looking great. And then they put up 6-2, I think might have been the final, 6-3. But like, holy, they look good.
Majors will get you, man.
Yeah, I'm hyped for that team because I think there's not great competition. Also, Quinnipiac, Denver's really good. That could be the championship. But I'm so in on that Gopher hockey team.
They're loaded.
And their freshmen are playing good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to be so good. You know what else is so good? Let's talk about it right now. Jimmy's salad dressings and dips, and I got a story for you. So I was gonna like make my own pickles the other day, and I had a jalapeno and stuff. I was like, oh, I should make my own dip. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make my own dip. I got like sour cream and whatever. I started making my own dip. Took me forever, and guess what I thought about the dip?
Wasn't good.
Dude, it wasn't good at all. I was like, what am I doing? Why don't I just go buy some Jimmy's? It's good. It's they got the hat trick of dips with ranch, spinach, and dill. And that also they have the secret sauce. It's not exactly a dip, although you can use it for a dip, a sensible dip to dip some veggies in. But that's Jimmy's Holy Smoky Dip and Spread. And you can dip veggies in it, yes, but it goes way beyond a dip. You can spread it on sandwiches, burgers, chicken fingers. What do you put dips on? What do you put your dressings on? Like all of it.
Yeah.
Burgers, fries, eggs, steak. It's incredible. And the best thing about Jimmy's salad dressings and dips is you can find it at Cub Foods in the veggie section. You just go there, you grab your veggies. It's right there. And when you go to the checkout, just tell them you listen to the Bobby Finn Knows Everyone podcast. They're not going to give you any kind of discount or anything.
Bobby sent you.
And they'll look at you like you're crazy, but you can feel good about, I heard this from the Bobby Finn Knows Everyone podcast. And the guy will look at you like you're goofy, but we'll think it's pretty funny. So that's Jimmy's salad dressings and dips.
Don't be messing with the dressing.
That's right. So Mateo, last time you were on, we had some good stories and we were like getting into it. And then we were talking the other day and you got awesome stories. So we talked about you're a big baseball player. Mm-hmm. You fought through some injuries. You battled some mental health issues as well. And I think that's the one thing that we all talk about is just like, people go through a lot of mental health things. They have anxiety, they have depression. They don't always treat it the right way. They don't always cope the right way. And you've gone through some ups and downs. And we were talking about, ayahuasca is a big thing that people talk about a lot. And before we get into exactly that, I thought we should talk about it here because we got a lot of followers. We got a lot of people who listen to the podcast we're talking with our buddy Chris Alzar and he's like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And I've heard a lot about it. I think knowing you're an upstanding dude. It's not this crazy weird thing that only celebrities do or freaks do. Like you are really a smart dude and seeing it, how it improved your life and helped you. I thought we should talk about that on the pod and however comfortable you are talking about this, that, and the other, you let us know. But I know you had an opioid addiction. Is that right? Yep. Yeah. So how did you get into that? What happened? And we'll just get into like, how did you get through it?
Yeah. For how it kind of started, it was basically going off to college and trying things, right?
Yeah.
And, tried some opiates and I liked it, tried a little bit in high school, that old story, like, buddy went in their parents' medicine cabinet,
Yeah.
And, I really liked it. I had a lot of anxiety. I didn't know at the time, but I was just so high strung.
Yep.
And then
you're playing baseball,
stressed
out.
Quitting baseball. Actually, I was ending my baseball career as sophomore in Mesa Community College, T-Birds.
The T-Birds.
T-Birds. And I went home and I started a job kind of in the service industry and I started serving. And it was stressful.
Yeah.
And, and at this time, not many people knew the addiction part of the opiate pills because it was very much said to me non-addicting or wherever it was. That's all you heard.
Right.
And I realized when I did it, when I went surfing, I wasn't, I could talk to tables. My anxiety went down.
Just calm.
Yeah, it was calm. And I got energy from it. Loved it. And, just kept doing it. And then when you don't realize it, and then you don't have it, boom, sick. And that's when people thought I was on something, was when I wasn't on it.
So you're like physically sick, you're ill, and
body needed it.
Okay.
Body needed
throwing up and stuff, or how do you, okay, you're kind of withdrawing, right?
Withdrawing,
Yeah.
full blown withdrawal.
Right.
And at that time, I didn't want to tell anyone about it.
S't
So I just kept it going, and it just kept going for years.
You're just like, I'll just do a little bit, and
This
wean
is doing it
myself
every
off
day.
of it,
Yeah,
and-
tried. Nope, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Tried that. Trying everything under the bus. I remember the moment that I broke down, kind of crying in my truck, realizing I can't stop.
Yeah.
I can't stop, and I don't know how to talk to my parents about how I can't stop.
Sure.
So they just kept going.
Yeah.
So this was opiate. I dealt with opiates for about 7 years.
Wow.
My life.
Wow. And you're everybody has issues with their family, right? Like you don't want to let your parents down, and you're like, your mom might act one way, your dad might act another way, and you're just trying to figure out like, all right, I don't want to burden them, or I don't want to deal with that. And
They had no clue.
Yeah.
They never dealt with addiction of that sort. Theirs was like, oh, just stay in your room for 2 days.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
That was what they thought. Even though I went to rehab a couple times. It was like, go to rehab for 30 days. You're going to come back completely fine. I might not have been on opiates, and now all my anxiety and everything came back.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything that was going to stress me out would push me right back into doing it, because I knew this thing was going to make me feel good.
Calm you down.
Calm
me
down.
Right.
Yeah, that was your coping mechanism.
Yep,
that's how you could cope, and that's
Yep.
how you could deal with your anxiety and your stress, and it made you feel good.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. And it didn't make you like, you weren't out to party. You weren't out doing it to like get
dude,
crazy
to go to
and get
work.
wild. Yeah,
I'll
you're
go
doing
to
it
work.
to live.
To live.
Yeah,
To
right.
live.
God, that's insane. So, did your parents know that you went to rehab a couple times?
They did.
Okay.
Eventually, it got to the point, it was. There's no way of not knowing that something was off
Right.
with me.
Yep.
And I did I'll use pawn and stuff.
Yeah.
Just super sketchy.
Yeah.
Hanging out in sketchy areas, getting like arrested in North Las Vegas. It's like, why is this white boy and 2 a.m. and over it's like way over here getting arrested.
Yeah.
Like why is my son all the way over there? So
Sure.
but they still were in denial for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Now it's became more to the forefront of how bad the epidemic is. Like last year, 100,000 people OD'd and died.
Wow.
Yeah, it's massive.
Massive.
Yeah, epidemic.
And they were just at that point in time, there was like 100 pills per every person in the United States. They were just serving them out like candy. You could always have them. I never had to go without them, until they kind of clamped down on those pill mills, and then it made it harder to get. And then that's how I ended up jumping to heroin and harder opiates. Because at the time, you never think, never going to be me.
Sure. Right.
It's always never going to be me. See it happen to other people, other friends, but it won't happen to me.
So what was the first one you were taking? Was it like
Lower tab,
Yeah.
like the ones you'd get if you got your wisdom teeth taken out.
Yep.
They give you 10 or 12 of those Percocets. And then, just because they were so prevalent at the time, I had a friend that had the stronger ones, the 30 milligram Brock Percocet,
Yeah.
boom, doing that, and then I had to get off the pills. I was selling them too, right? To keep my own habit going.
Sure.
And then, basically couldn't get them anymore. And that's when I was like, all right, I need help. You got to go to rehab.
Yeah.
Right. And I went to rehab.
12-step program or what kind of?
12. They always incorporate a 12-step program into it. But in my head at the time, being younger and immature, I was like, you just know best. I'm like, I'm going to need 30 days here, and that's all I need. And I'm going home and not going to have a single, bump in the road. Nope. Went right home. Went right next to the same friends I used to have that was still doing, opiates. And I just went right back into it. It was just never could keep sober for longer than a month.
Wow.
Went right home, boom, running and gunning. Nothing else mattered but to get high.
Yeah. So at what stage did you start to kind of figure it out? Like,
I just
that was
talking about
years.
years, because it took like 3 or 4 years for that breakdown in my truck. And then after that, I always, I was still doing them, but I would always be researching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you can get like kratom, which is kind of makes it feel, you can get this at like a smoke shop, right? And it's a natural painkiller. I tried you can do like high vitamin C doses. There's many different things that they say can work. It was just, I knew I was addicted and I wanted to get sober and I had no clue. So, internet, just researching it. Yeah. Research. So that's how I came across the ibogaine.
Yep.
And which led into the ayahuasca. And ibogaine is a plant from Africa. It's from the iboga plant, and it's used it's the Bawiti tribe, and they do it in ceremonial form. But what they found out was actually a heroin addict found out when he did it out there. He didn't know it at the time, but it took away all his opiate withdrawals. Mm-hmm. So he started serving in America. Now you can do it out in Mexico, but if you do it once, it takes away takes majority of your opiate withdrawals away.
Okay.
And I did it once, but when my opiate withdrawals went away, I still didn't like who I was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like how I felt when I was normal. Didn't like it.
Yeah, you still had that anxiety and the depression and the things that you weren't coping with. I
was sweating profusely all the time. I was hot. And when I went to the doctor asked me if I was stressed because my blood pressure was out the roof and my resting heart rate was like 110, 120 beats per minute going to sleep. This is in rehab. And he goes, Matt, do you feel stressed? I'm like, I don't think so because I'm still personable. I still have a lot of friends, but I'm profusely sweating all the time. Mm-hmm. He goes, you have subconscious anxiety. You just had this for so long. You don't know anything different. Yeah, he said that to me, and I was like, oh my God.
Wow, that's insightful, that doctor. He could have just pushed you aside and was like, you're whatever.
I was like, I felt like this since I was younger. I felt nervous.
Right.
In class, if I knew the answer, I didn't want to raise my hand because I didn't want to, I knew it, but I didn't want to be wrong. It was like, this constant anxiety.
Yeah.
There was something that I was just always fearful of.
But did you have like confidence in yourself? Like you're a good baseball player, you're a good looking dude. I love your hair. Did you have that confidence of like a lot of athletes have that like cocky kind of confidence of like, I don't really give a shit. Like I can do whatever at school and I can like talk to girls and I can do whatever because or maybe you didn't. Maybe
that's how it was portrayed, but in deep down it wasn't like that.
Oh, okay.
So
you put that.
That's what it looked like on the outside, but on the inside it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
And it, a lot of it stemmed from like how I grew up too. Like it's all kind of trickled down. My oldest brother beat up my older brother, and then my older brother beat up me, and then I was mean to my, it all.
Sure. Yeah.
I remember until my younger 20s of having basically nightmares of fighting my older brother Paul.
Oh dang!
And he's big dude.
Yeah.
He's like 6'1",
like my size.
Yeah. He's the guy. He was like I didn't want to fight him because I knew no matter what I wasn't gonna win.
Right.
If I did fight him.
Yeah.
But I had these dreams until my younger 20s.
Oh way.
Wow.
You can't throw a punch in your dream either.
Yeah.
So it's always frustrating. I had that till my younger 20s.
Wow. So you've got the issues. You kind of have this breakdown in your truck, and you're like, okay, I need to do something else. You talk to the doctor, so you've kind of figured out that you are overstressed and you do have that anxiety issue. So at that point, you go to Mexico to try the.
Yep. So I actually get in a car accident on my birthday, which someone actually T-bones me, and at the time I was using, and I remember at the time I was like, I was completely fine, but I was like, I'm gonna get paid one day, right? Mm. And it took 2 years for this insurance claim to come through. It was $10,000, and I used. It wasn't all of it, but that was paid me to go down to Mexico and do the ibogaine the right way.
Okay.
Because my mom I actually got it ordered in my house, and I had my mom, because my mom watched me go through. I lived at mom's house. She watched me, become a stick of a man that I used to be. I've dropped 40 pounds, and just no one like her son used to look like. So we didn't do it the right way. Threw it all up so quick, and then I was like, I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna go down to a facility where you have people trained to administer it.
But still, though, you're going to Mexico. Are you thinking at this point like, okay, it's a facility and it's doctor, but it's like, who knows what's going to happen when I get to Mexico? Is it going to be some kind of sham or what?
I was to a point where I wanted to try anything.
Okay.
We're talking about, I've had they have to call the ambulance. They give you the cervix knuckle to your chest to wake you up. You're almost on the point of ODing. And that's how they wake you up instead of hitting you with naltrexone or the opiate reverser kind of thing. So I was just, like I said before, I was researching everything.
Yep.
You know, I knew I didn't want to be addicted, but it had such a control over me
Yep.
that, but I would try anything out of the book.
Mm.
I knew that the traditional rehabs in America did not work. I've tried it a couple of times.
Yep.
I mean, it didn't work for me.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, because they do work with some people, but again, the success rates are super small, small percentage. But yeah, so looked it up, got in contact with somebody. My mom got in contact with them as well, and they had it was like, yep, the ibogaine is this price, and then if you want to do, we have ayahuasca that we do a couple days later, and it's a 3-day ceremony. I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, I've tried mushrooms when I was younger. I was like, yeah, cool, I'm cool with it. You say someone plays live music, and I get a, you know, not knowing the relief at the end of it was going to.
And how long ago was this? Because ayahuasca has just kind of gotten into popular conversations through, you know, whether it's Rogan or whatever, people talk about it. But this is what, 10 years ago?
8 years ago.
8 years ago. Okay. Wow,
8 years ago.
Yep.
Forefront of it.
Yep. 8 years ago.
Yeah. And also, are you thinking like, I think a lot of people, maybe older generations too, think like, well, you know, ayahuasca, it's just now it's another drug. Mushrooms, now you're doing another drug. So how many different drugs are you going to try and do? And are you thinking like, I don't know, I don't want to get hooked on this now? Or did you have a lot of trust in the process of like, okay, this is, I'll try, like you said, maybe I'll try anything. Yeah.
I when they gave me the prescription for my high blood pressure, it was basically, here's a prescription. You will be on this for the rest of your life.
I'm there right now.
You know, it's like I didn't have another route. I was like, you know, at the time I'm like 25, 26 years old. I'm like, you're telling me for the whole future, I'm going to be taking, and I didn't like how I felt when I took the blood pressure medication.
Right.
You know, I didn't like it. I did my research on what ayahuasca was, you know, but it still takes doing it to understand what it really was. Right. I know about it. I know it's a hallucinogen. Yeah. You know, I know that they've done it for thousands of years and it's native to, you know, South America. Yeah. And someone's going to play music. And, you know, that's all I really know. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'm already down in Mexico. Why not?
I get to go to a concert and listen to some tunes.
Yeah. Not, you know, why not do it?
Have some shrooms.
Right.
It'd be great.
Yeah. So, and the first night was, you know, because they do it over 3 nights. And the first night I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, like this,
So is it like what you would think is like tribal and ceremonial where it's like outdoors or it's like a sweat lodge or is it like you go into some office building, right? Like Theo Vaughn jokes that he did, because I did mine right off the expressway, right by a Kmart.
No, this was out in Mexico the first time I did it. And they had this big compound and it was inside a designated big room because there was probably 30 other people doing it with me at the same time. Yeah. And, but there's small group ones. Okay. I mean, I did out in Mexico. I've done 5 other ones since that first one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
So I've done 6 total. And 4 of the other 6 have been in the United States.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they're out there for sure.
And right away, so you do it 3 days.
Oh man, first day. Well, it's because they have it. They've been doing this. They perfected the 3-day system, right? The first day is really easy, and I was like, oh, this is super cool. You know, it was like, I like someone's playing guitar, and Second day, I took the second cup.
And it's a liquid. It's a drink.
Yep, it's a brew. There's 2 different plants from South America. One has the active molecule, which is DMT in it, and the other one is MAOI inhibitor, which helps your stomach digest. Okay. So you wouldn't be able to feel it if you didn't have the 2 plants together.
To get it in your system.
It kind of tastes like an espresso, a thick espresso. Not horrible.
I heard they're going to start selling it at Quick Trip.
Yeah, right?
They've got all that, like the kombucha, and might as well sell the
Delta 8 ayahuasca. You know?
So all right. So then day 2, you're like, whoa.
Well, and then I get this, because you can get them up for multiple servings. Or you can be like dealer's choice, where you let the facilitator, like, all right, you only get like half a cup. So I'm like, oh, first day was cool. I'm going to get 2 cups, you know? Hell no. I was
time traveling.
Well, it's known for purging. Right, it's known for throwing up.
Oh, sure, yeah, you're clearing the system.
Yeah, clearing the system. But I'm like, I'm throwing up. Like, I can't stop throwing up. And now my anxiety is coming back because I've had a panic attack before when I was quitting baseball. I was avoiding everything. I was failing class. I went up to this calculus class. I was already failing, but I still had baseball. I literally, for the test, I just signed my name on it, turned it in because I had to be going to a class. But you know, it was all about baseball at the time. I was failing. Right. I was gonna quit. and ate an edible, and I had a panic attack. Full on thought I was gonna die. Called my girlfriend at the time. I was like, Christine, I think I'm going to die. You know, like full blown panic. And that's what happened to me in the ayahuasca ceremony. And I look over the guy who I was in basic treatment with. You know, with my buddy now because I've been there for a couple of weeks. I'm like, Johnny, you got to get me help.
Yeah.
So I had to get carried out of this thing, dude. Like scarecrow, like
No way.
carried out. I thought my heart was gonna like explode, but this was all made up in my head too. What's going on?
Right.
So I get carried out, and it's like a 60-degree night in Baja, California, Mexico. So it's kind of chillier, and I'm laying on the concrete, and it was like I just had this like epiphany of my life. Like my whole life, I was looking through a straw, but now I can see this way larger picture of things that I'm holding on to, or the things that have affected me. Like I was talking about my brother, but I didn't think I was thinking about it. But in reality, it's always sitting in my subconscious.
Yeah.
Or I hadn't talked to my dad in a long time. And then I just realized, like, I'm carrying around a 100-pound bag of should have been, you know,
Right.
or where I should be, or how my parents should have been with me, and I would never be here.
Yeah.
Like I was mad.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, why am I mad? You
Yeah.
know,
You've had tunnel vision for years. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is the way it is, and this is why, and
And
it
if-
opened you up.
And if my parents made me do my homework when I was in 3rd grade, you know, like some stuff like that, you know. And I was like, no, like I'm gonna take this bike. Why am I holding on to these things in the past that I cannot change? I can't change who my parents were. I can't change and what happened when I was growing up, my brother bullying me or whatever it was, you know. And these are universal things that happen. But I held on to them like that if only those things didn't happen. And what I kind of realized, and it's funny looking back because you hear this when I went to AA for regular rehab in the United States, I would always hear these long-time sober people go, I'm grateful for my addiction. And when I was younger, I'd be like, middle finger to you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is the worst.
Yeah.
And after that experience, I was like, oh my God. Like I had such relief. All that addiction had brought me to this experience here. You know, if I needed to go through all this to even be here now with you guys talking, you know, I wouldn't be up in Minnesota right now. I would have been too scared to leave the nest. My nest was in Vegas. That's where my mom was. That's where
Right.
but after my experience, I was like, I know I'm a good person. You know, I can go anywhere. You know, there was some codependency going on with me and my mom, and like, if I need money, she was gonna give it to me.
Right.
You know, she wouldn't say no. You know, and and it was a big thing for me leaving Las Vegas, because I think being independent is the most liberating thing you can do for somebody. You know, now I can make it on my own.
Yeah.
Instead of my mom doing my taxes or,
Yeah.
you know, my whatever it is.
That fear of getting out there and doing your own thing.
I was scared.
Did you feel most of this kind of world opened up to you during this second day? Or was this kind of like after this 3 days?
Big relief after the second day.
Yeah, okay,
After the
wow.
purging, after the second day. I remember I'm like laying on this cold concrete, and one of the owners of the place, actually, there's 2 of the owners were there, and I had never met this guy Tyson Elliott, man. He's a legend, rest his soul. I never met him before, but I knew who he was, and he just gave me like a 20-minute hug. You know, it was like the most. It gives me goosebumps talking about it, and I just had the biggest smile on my face. It was like a huge wave of relief, of like I'm not holding on, I'm letting it go. I was holding on to all these things that you can't even hold on to, but except for mentally.
Yeah.
You know, I'm finally letting these mental things go, and just being okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, now instead of using it as a detriment in my life, we can use it as a blessing and be grateful for it. Or when I talk to other people about addiction, or you know, it's a benefit. It's like this is a good thing that, you know, I'm glad like how it all ended up happening.
Right. It's made you such a bigger person than what you could have been, or what. Yeah. Even for someone who maybe had never gone through that, you've got such a broader, bigger understanding of things and how to deal and cope and work through issues and see bigger things than what you would have seen. Oh, wow.
So with that said, I mean, where are you going to go with all this? I mean, obviously it's done amazing things for your life. And I mean, the positivity that you bring to people that are, you know, it's struggling with anything. I mean, it could be anything, not just drugs, or it could be life, could be anything. what are you gonna do about it?
I mean, I'm still involved, taking some classes. I took some classes this summer about doing mushroom or psilocybin ceremonies. I went out to California where they're with a facilitator out there who actually does them for professional athletes, mushroom ceremonies. And they need to get in the flow state. Does it with UFC fighters, NHL players, MLB players. He also does MDMA. So something in that, you get drawn to want to give it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, you see it after people do it. There's a lot of people that ends up being the route of what they want to do for the rest of their life.
It's what you're passionate about. It's what you know about. And it's also at this stage where nobody really knows about it. That's why we're talking about it today. You hear things, but it's in those early stages to where we don't know any experts that know this. Right. We know you, and you're
kind of taboo, really. Right?
Well, it is. Yeah, people talk about it like, now he's doing mushrooms. Here, the guy's doing mushrooms, and he's like, look at how much benefit it's had to you, and you've done it multiple times.
Well, even think about Aaron Rodgers, right? And it is so taboo.
He's had a shitty year, though.
He had a shitty year, but it don't matter.
Maybe he should have done ayahuasca because now he sucks.
Oh, he did it. He did it. That's how he got his other MVPs. He did it before he got his MVPs. He was just now able to talk about it.
Oh, really?
Because, he gives it for his other MVPs. Now, because it's becoming less taboo. And think about himself. He's putting himself out there to even mention he did it, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
But it was so profound in his own life. Yeah. He felt he didn't care about what people were going to say about him, because it was such a meaningful experience to himself. Yep. So, then that's why he wanted to share it. Because think about how much slack he's going to put up now. Now it's a joke. Like you just made a joke about
right.
Earlier.
Yeah, we're making fun.
So he knows that. Yeah. And there's some fear about even putting it out there. Mm-hmm. Because it is such Western thought, even about mushrooms. But mushrooms, you see cave paintings with mushrooms in there. Psychedelics. These have been done for thousands of years in human existence. Yeah. Ayahuasca's been practiced for thousands of years, and it's been proven to be safe. You got it's not habit forming. It's just, and now it's finally changing. You can see the tide changing. It just got decriminalized in, I think, Colorado this last election cycle.
So there'll be states in the U.S. where you can go do it.
Oregon was kind of semi doing it now. Yeah. They were doing it. The federal government raided one of these places because it's not legal federally, right? But it's slowly coming to that way. And now you can do it at Johns Hopkins. They have the mushroom studies because they just can prove the benefits of doing it. And there's a correct way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. Sure, right. It's not.
And so when you did it, so you like your second, third, fourth time, obviously you kept doing it because it made you like open up new pathways and there's always somebody there that kind of walks you through it. Is it like, it's not like, so in Yellowstone, was his name Casey? He had this like religious ceremony out in the tribal land. And, people think of it like that, but it's more of a, I don't know. I don't know what you call it, where a physician helps you through.
Yeah, you'll have like the main shaman guy, the guy that's going to play all the music. And this guy's like master on like 60 instruments, right? He's going to play a bunch of these instruments over the next 3 days. And then he'll have a couple of people helping him out, changing some buckets or getting people water. There's always people there, Yeah. And like this, not their first rodeo.
Sure.
So they've seen it, and then it ends up, if you do it over 3 days, it's like a big potluck where people will bring like organic food and someone will volunteer to cook in the morning, and then someone will cook at the end of the ceremony.
No McDonald's.
No McDonald's, man. They don't want you to eat salt. Like no.
So what about like what did you experience out of your last few that you maybe didn't get out of your first? Is it just you keep opening new doors?
Well, they call it the great mother teacher. It's so introspective, and that's you yourself. You're finding that within. It's always been there, and now you can finally see it. You don't need to talk to really there is some where you integration afterwards, but yeah, you just and then you don't know anyone when you first get there, and then you get to know everyone over the 3 days, and it's such a beautiful thing, and then it just makes you want to do it. Or do it again, or give it to somebody else. Right. Like pay it forward.
Yeah.
So even the ones I do in the States, like they're pretty inexpensive comparatively but it's not about the money, right?
Yeah, right.
It's because these people are trying to bring it to other people, because even when talking about my own life, trauma is universal. You know, I don't know, like, you know, whatever I went through, someone else went through something as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, so
Absolutely.
I mean, last time I went, there was actually 2 physicians taking part in the ceremony when I did it out in San Diego. And the guy that picked me up was a psychiatrist that picked me up from the airport, and he was doing it.
Oh, okay.
And he was talking about how he can't tell to his coworkers because it is taboo.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever this is, it works.
Right.
So he likes, so.
Wow. And it's just a you know, a drink, like a little, like a natural herbal drink that just releases all these.
I mean, it can be scary. I mean, like I said, I got carried out of the thing.
Yeah.
But then after it subsides, it's a kind of realization that these are all made up fears in my own head.
Mhm.
I mean, in reality, it was nothing to be scared about, but it was just my anxieties, you know, coming to the forefront.
See, I don't know. I mean, I'm so that scares the shit out of me. If I'm not in control of my thoughts, I get so I can't do that. So I mean, obviously, we dabble in the adult beverages, but anything more than that, if I feel like I wouldn't be able to control anything, and that I need to be in control.
Well, it's
I don't know, Bobby. I've seen you a few nights. You're not in control.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been doing it long enough where I feel like no matter what, as bad as it could get.
Well, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
You
I know what it's gonna be all about. You know, but
well, like you said, you had no other options. You were
Yeah.
just like, I'll try
And
anything.
it's not like drinking, right? So this is like you'll do like once maybe a year, every so many years. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like you can go to the bar and be like, can I get 2 cups of ayahuasca, please? You know.
They sell those at the post at
right.
all?
No, yeah. And there's an intent. I mean, there's intention about it. Like you're going down there for a certain reason. You know, you have brain fog. There's something in your life that's drawn you to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
So now you have a much clearer head. You said you used to feel like you're looking through a straw, and now you've got this whole window that you feel like you've come a long way. And like, what are your relationships like now? What's your anxiety level like now?
Oh, low.
Yeah.
Low. You guys see me at the bartending, man. It's hard to get me riled up, you know.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. It's always kind of want to be even keeled. At one point I was addicted to the highs and lows. That was a thing as well. I was also gambled, but you know, I'd gamble, I'd win a lot of money, that's a high. And I'd lose a lot of money, that's a low. I'd get high, that's a high. You know, I'd be withdrawing, that's a low. You know, I was just addicted to the ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just really nice to be even keeled. You know,
Wow.
that's cool.
What about like when Bobby gets into a fight at the bar and you hear about it, and now you got to like decide
I
if you're
didn't
gonna kick
get
it
into
off?
a fight.
You almost got into a fight.
Like, yeah, that guy was crazy.
yeah.
I mean, he got all weird, man. He just like then he's
He
just like,
needs ayahuasca.
yeah. It's like,
He was on something.
He
right?
was on something. He just flipped out.
Mateo's roommate had to help you out. I heard. You
Yeah.
had to throw the guy out before you took him outside and
Before I
whooped his ass.
ayahuasca him.
at the harbor.
At the harbor.
I'm finally just got to that point. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, let's go.
But
And then started walking out, and then he didn't move, so it was perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't step up.
No,
You won.
That's the way I like to win.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
No,
I mean,
no,
shit,
it's
I'm
a-
50 years old.
No, it's such a craft when someone starts a fight with you and you know how to like.
You can talk.
Then you want to be friends. It's like, no, hold on, dude. You're gonna like me. You know,
Right.
we're gonna be friends, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how this started off, but this is a miscommunication. You know, no, I think the fighting is the easy way out.
Right.
It's always easy.
Yeah.
But to bring back the relationship, it all made all my. I was just talking to my mom, and she was because now the Aaron Rodgers, and she's a Packers fan, right? I'm a Vikings fan, but she's a Packers fan, so she'd be telling the ayahuasca thing came up, and she will tell her friends. I was talking to her, she's like, "Yeah, I tell my friends how I'm sure that ayahuasca saved your life."
Hmm.
You know, and that's how she firmly believes, and that's how I firmly believe about it.
That's awesome.
You know, because
Right.
you know, I was always gonna try to self medicate,
Right.
and now I did it. That I didn't need to anymore.
Right. And I mean, you were an opioid addict, could we
Mhm.
say, or you used
Yep,
all
opiates.
the time?
Yep.
But you drink still, and like that doesn't have any effect on.
No, and I mean,
gotta keep
I
it.
drink.
Mhm.
And that's why I like working weekends because I don't drink when I'm
Yeah.
bartending.
Yeah.
Drink sparingly.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's I almost think different chapter. I mean, it's everyone's different.
Yeah.
But no, I still
Can
use enough
function,
drinks. Yeah,
right.
still function.
Yeah, you were wasted on here last time.
Yeah. Well, what happens? You bring me to a distillery that has really good old fashions, man.
They were sliding.
I'm glad
They were
that
tasting good.
I'm glad it's helped you out, and you're obviously a really good dude. And thanks for sharing and doing all that, talking about it. Because we talked at the bar, and I was like, oh my god, what a story! And I would have never known, because you are such a chill guy and easygoing and likable and nice, and I'm for those who are in need, or for those who are looking for something to help them out if they have addiction issues, I think, maybe something to look into, because it's obviously done wonders for you. And it seems like you're going to try to get maybe into it a little bit with the next stage of your life, with being your own shaman.
Well, and the big thing is, and for anyone that knows of like a loved one that's struggling with addiction or family member, just know that like they can change. Like that's not them. That's their addiction controlling them. Like when people meet me, they would have, unless I'll bring it up only in certain conversations if it needs to be talked about, or someone else is struggling, I need to talk to them about my own experience. But that's the beauty of life, is change. Like that, they're not pigeonholed to be like that. You might think they're just speech, POS, whatever. There's other issues going on there, and they can change.
Right.
Yeah, it's important stuff, and that's awesome for you to recognize that and try to help, because a lot of people out there need help.
For sure. Let's talk real quick about Joe Mama's salsa, because Joe Mama's salsa is amazing salsa. And what I love about Joe Mama's salsa is that it takes your mouth on a flavor wave, because it starts a little bit tart and it finishes a little bit spicy. It is a wonderful, amazing salsa. They got 5 different flavors. Bobby's is
mango habanero,
and I bought some the other day just so when you come sit in my kitchen, you can have some mango habanero, which I think is actually branded pineapple mango with habanero.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
So
and a really cool thing about Joe Mama's is they support local sports teams, because they help you with your fundraising. You can sell Joe Mama salsa and you get 50% back to your team to help pay for team fees. They are the official salsa of hockey, which I love, which is really cool. But they also help you in any sport that you or your kids might be in. So you just email fundraising@joemamas.com. Tell them you heard about the Bobby Finn Knows Everybody podcast and heard us talk about it. And they're not going to give you a discount, just like Cub Foods is going to give you a discount. But they will say, hey, we can help you with your fundraising. Sell these salsas, and we'll give you 50% back to your team. So check out Joe Mama's. It's again at Cub Foods. All our favorite products, I guess, are at Cub Foods. So it's fantastic. So check out Joe Mama salsa.
Yeah, good.
So anything else? I mean, God,
this AI thing you're talking about.
Oh God, we do have to talk about this because they say it's going to be maybe bigger than the internet. How the internet changed lives. It might be bigger than the internet. It might be bigger than Google in a couple of years.
It does everything for you.
It's called ChatGPT. It's an AI bot, and you go on. I mean, I don't know if I'm still connected to the internet, but it's just like you type in whatever you want, and it just say a long essay about. And I keep bringing this up. A long essay about the Revolutionary War and its impact on the economy. And it gives you in fluid. It's not just bad, weird computer talk. It's straight fluid. So they say for like coders who are like computer programming, you just plug in like, hey, write me a code that can do this, that, or that with websites. Full on. They say lawyers that need to write up legal documents, a legal document about, I don't know, like a commercial lease with the various laws and state regulations. It knows like per state, per region, what the legal laws are, can do it that way. And the thing I just saw is that it came out a week ago, 6 days ago, and it already has 1 million users. And Twitter, it took 2 years to get 1 million users. Netflix, it took 4 years to get 1 million users. It's just like they say it's taking over. It scares me because it's going to take people's jobs. It's like the real deal. So I want to say you heard it here first on the Bobby Finn Knows Everyone podcast, because they might learn about ayahuasca today. They might learn about ChatGPT, and we're bringing stuff to people.
What was the other thing we were just going to expose today or talk about? First heard it here.
I don't know.
God, what were we talking about earlier?
Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner. It's a big
trade.
The trade.
The trade.
Was that you heard it here first? We know that she got let out. She got let out of jail. Yeah.
For the biggest arms dealer in the world.
Yeah. Well,
But I mean, it's American citizen. I'd give him up, I guess. You know.
I'd like to get that other guy back too.
Yeah. That's where they kind of dropped the ball on it.
Right.
They say it's the biggest trade in WNBA history.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you see? They want to be. They don't want to be paid as much as the men. Did you see that? But they want the same percentage as the men are getting, and so they did a deal where they calculated. So each girl at 140 or 12 girls in each team, 144 girls total, they owe $83 million because they lose
the
money.
WNBA is $12 million in debt every
right.
year, so they're gonna have to pay in if they want to get the same pay.
But like, come on.
I don't know. It's insane.
You got to bring people to the seats.
That's it, right? It's common sense, and you don't want to take care of people and help them out as much as you can, but it's got to be common sense.
Yeah. So, God, I guess we're going to have another conversation about something else you want to talk about. We're going to have you on for the third pod. So is there anything you want to get off your chest now that you're going to have to tease into the next, the third Mateo podcast? Because every time we talk to you, you seem like you open up a new can of worms that we got to like peel back the onion on. Is this it?
No,
this is all you got.
There's more, man.
This is all you got.
Keep tuned, man.
Keep tuned.
I like it.
It's been good.
Yeah. Well, should we wrap her up?
I think we wrap her up.
Right.
It's been fun. Thanks for sharing again.
Yep.
And
yeah, it was cool. It was very cool. Public service today.
Yep, absolutely.
Took a little different twist on the BFKE.
The BFKE, as usual, but the BFKE it's good for knowledge and good for helping people who might need a little help dealing with their stress or addictions or whatever. But it's been fun having you. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
Likewise.
Thanks, Matty. But make sure you like and subscribe on all their major platforms and kind of give a shout out to us.
Follow us on Instagram. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook now. So check us out.
Check us out and try to help people, right, Matt?
Yep,
I mean,
definitely.
go through life and try to help. Don't hurt. Life's hard enough. So with that said, don't be a dick, and we're out.
Yeah,